Hi there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and this is a 1995 Rover Mini, also kind of known as the Austin Mini, but at this time Rover owned the mark, but it is an official Mini. 1300cc engine. This one's a bit of a rarity in that it has an automatic transmission. There weren't very many automatic transmission Minis compared to the manuals, and so it is kind of fun and cool, and opens the doors to people who don't know how to drive a manual. The Mini's not hard to drive as a manual, but compared to a lot of cars, it's not that good. And so having a Mini with the auto is kind of cool. The auto transmission ones tend to be probably a little bit less reliable, but change your oil all of the time and maybe have regular maintenance with the automatic transmission. It should still be worth it, I think, for a lot of people. Now this one's a little bit interesting because we have a seller who thought this was a Cooper, and then the auction is like, it's probably not a Cooper. And then we were like, this is probably not a Cooper too. But it has some Cooper-ish things, and so a little bit of a mixed bag. And Minis by this era are mixed bag cars, and so really you need a Mini expert or lots of interneting in order to figure things out. Now engine running condition is perfect. I'm going to turn off the engine here. Oh, and usually the key cylinder goes in here, but the person who owned this before fancied a modified ignition here, which is how the original Minis from 1959 were. Okay, so bought from the auction for export to Canada. Canada, not the USA, although this one's not legal for USA, but there are plenty of Minis in Japan that could be. I'm going to go over that in a second. I'm going to first go over the auction inspection sheet so you can see the information on the car in words before we go to see how it compares to the real version. Okay. Putting in the password. And here's the inspection sheet. And so 1995, I'll just read this. 1995 Rover Mini. It says Cooper here, but then right before the auction they were like, we can't guarantee it's a Cooper, we're just going to call this a Mini. 1300cc engine, auxiliary 3.5, interior C, exterior C. It has 35,990 kilometers, and with all Minis, you never know what it's going to be because they're all 5-digit odometers. And so this one could be 135, it could be 235, but the interior is one of the best interiors I've ever seen of a Mini. And I'll show you more information on that later. Leads me to believe that this is almost certainly a 35,990 kilometer car. It's purchased from user, leather seats, and Rover original speakers. That's interesting. Rover original speakers. As far as I know, there's only 2 speakers in these. There you go. Rover original speakers. When I had a Mini, I had 2 6x9s in here and a 10-inch sub in the back, and we almost blew the windows off of the car. Yeah, aftermarket exhaust on here, windshield rock chip, interior is scratched and dirty, but as you can see, it's beautiful inside here. What else? Oh, so it's an auxiliary 3.5. It's not an accident grade car or repaired car. That would be an R here. But the left front inner panel has a small dent, and the right front inner panel has a small dent, and it's been cut and modified. This section here I couldn't see, and I couldn't notice anything that was accident grade about this. In fact, I would say that probably this is not being in an accident. I find that the Minis tend to be a little bit off just from the factory in some areas. So let's go over this. Exterior has uneven paint and some paint fade. That's really the only problem on the car, but it is kind of a concerning problem, I would say. Underside surface rust and corrosion, aftermarket shift knob and steering wheel. And then if you look in here, you get original shift knob. Oh, if you're down with that sort of thing. Let's unzoom. There we go. And then if you look at the body diagram here, it has a repainted section here, paint fade, paint fade, paint fade, and a replaced boot on the back. And repainted both doors and the front fender here. Okay, gonna close this up. So the laptop got run over twice. And now you can see there's cracks in that part there. That didn't happen on any of the times it was run over, but my 3-year-old steps on it and suddenly that cracks. Okay, so, engine. We have a great looking engine. Everything in here looks too clean for a car that is this old. We have an alternator that looks fantastic. we have a valve cover that is nice and bright with no peeling on it. And then the engine itself painted a lovely red color. Now they don't originally come this color as far as I know. They come in different colors, like an army green. I've seen yellow ones, I've seen brown ones, I've seen red ones. I've never seen a red one in this color. And we've probably exported about 40 minis by now. Now this one has some interesting things. Usually you would get the dipstick right in here. But as you can see, there's a metal braided line which connects to over here, which is another one of the oil kind of galley input places. Maybe a freeze plug goes in there. And then the dipstick has been moved over here. I wouldn't be surprised if this engine is something like a crate engine that you would put in when you wanted more power. It also has an interesting little thing here. Now this could just be a sticker. Engine fitted with certain Rover approved modified components Cooper. For further information, contact John Cooper Garage, blah blah blah. There's the telephone number. I would give them a call and then give them the engine number and be like, hey, it says on the engine I can give you a call. It might be something special. You never really know with minis. That's the fun of them. It's sort of like a surprise box. Yeah. Okay, so radiator on the side, as they always are. This one again is a 2-fan version with fuel injected instead of carbureted. This one does have AC, and the AC works really well. And that's about everything that I'm going to mention underneath here. The engine's just nice. Sounds lovely. Starts easily. No issues. Okay. And love the Cooper logo on the front. Very cool looking. So we'll do it once around here. Take a look for the faded paint. It's a really nice looking candy red. And then the top looks like it's white, but it's actually like a cream or an off-white. Modification to the exhaust, it's nicer. It looks like it's been replaced recently, or this car's been parked indoors and didn't have room to corrode. Now, I can't really say about Mini paint. A lot of them have been repainted. Some companies like Mitsubishi tend to have paint that fades quickly. I feel like Mini sometimes is like that, and sometimes it's fine, so it's really a mixed bag. With Mini, I wouldn't be surprised if like one factory was good at painting while another one wasn't, or one of the painters was good and someone else wasn't. This roof has definitely been repainted, you can tell, because from factory they won't paint all the way up to the edge here. And it looks glossy and lovely. And then looking at the body, I'll show you the paint faded sections. So the back trunk is not faded, but has been repainted. The back area here around the trunk is all faded. You can see the difference there. This back fender, same thing, but the door looks good. And although the door has been repainted, it's still a really good look. And the front fender here. Cowl is faded. Hood is good. Got some rust on the fog lamp here. And then this fender here. Now that was all mentioned on the auction sheet, and so nothing to worry about there. Here's a funny one. Take a look. I have personal information about this. It says Runabout on it. But this mirror is the same mirror that's used on a special version of the Miata. And then plenty of Miata people here in Japan, first generation Miata, will change their mirrors to these ones because they're epically good looking. And if you want to buy them used, because you can't buy them new anymore, $300 for a used set of these. Because I just went to go try to buy one, because I went and leaned on one like this, snap, on my car, not a customer's car. And that was very sad. I didn't realize they were so expensive, so my car doesn't have those mirrors anymore. But I have a spare one if anyone wants one. Alright. So, sump guard on the underside. You can see there. Looking pretty good here. This one has the wider, but not widest, fender arches. The wider the fender arches, the more the cars tend to sell for. Okay, so let's go to the interior. First off, the trunk interior. Nothing special about it, but people like to see the size of the trunk in these. And these are completely usable daily driver car. They have absolutely enough space for basically everything that you need, unless you need to transport things. And this includes people too. You can fit 4 adults in one of these. VIN plate in the back. No rust or corrosion in the back section there. that's extra good. Some corrosion on the taillights, but taillight pieces like that are easy to find if you do feel compelled to replace them. As far as I know, all the door locks and stuff work fine. There's no sagging in the door card. They must have got this right finally, because all of them have sagginess in the door card. This is special. Seats, it almost looks like not a single person has sat in these seats. But I know that's not true because I have sat in them. But these are fantastic. I have never seen mini seats this good. And it looks like a new style of stitching too, because the older ones were just kind of like, that kind of looks like a seat. Yeah, put it in the car, Greg. These look good. Steering wheel was a little bit smaller than stock. I think stock for this year probably. Oh no, this is a 95. It would have been the year before the airbag. Okay, so inside here has these gauges. You can see there it says 36097. AC works very nicely. Shifting is very good. Floor is so clean and good, and no bad smells inside here. It's just lovely. It's hard to find a Mini with good interior like this, but I was just so happy to see this. They're just never this nice. I love it. Now, you can't get into the back seat very easily from the driver's side because there's something wrong with this one. The seats are supposed to have this section where you can pull the thing and then they flip forward and then you can get into the back easily. But because of the size of these seats compared to the earlier ones, it doesn't have room for that thing here. And they have that thing on the other side. You can see that one there. You can pull this up and you can pull the seat forward, but it doesn't actually bend at the waistline like the old ones do. And so to get into the back is actually a big pain in the butt on this one. Why, Mini? Why would you do that? Your old seats were okay. And that's not all the way in. There we go. I guess you could climb over the seat, but that would be difficult. Headliner, super clean, super nice. The transmission is a little bit chunky shifting, but I've never seen an automatic transmission version of this that wasn't like that. It kind of bumps a little bit when you transfer into drive. But the engine is lovely in it. And if it is a modified engine, then that's good. Minis, no matter how fast the version that you have is, they're not fast cars, but they're incredibly fun to drive. And having a faster than other ones is nice to have too. Original Mini 1000 like I had has only 37 horsepower. Some of these later model ones have up to 90 or so, which is a bit of a rocket for this size of a car. But I don't know how much this one would have. Anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and have a nice day.